Today I'm taking this sleeper train for 9 hours all the way across England to Cornwall. I'll show you exactly what it's like to travel overnight on what's dubbed the Night Riviera. I have my own private sleeper cabin, but I'll show you the variety of different cabins on board, including economy. We'll find out what their catering is like. Yes, there's even a restaurant car, and of course have a tour of my bedroom. Join me on England's only overnight sleeper service to the most westerly point of the UK. Oh, and I'd just like to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. We'll be starting our journey in central London, specifically at the historic Paddington railway station. It's one of the UK's most beautiful, dating back from the mid-1800s and designed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
Hello there and welcome back to the channel. You join me at Paddington Station where we're going to be catching a pretty special night train over to Cornwall. So without any more to say, let's head over to platform 1 and go get on board.
Tickets are dealt with via the GWR app, and whilst this gets you on board, you must also purchase a sleeper supplement. I'll explain all of this in just a moment.
Well, as you can see, I have found the sleeper train. Pretty excited about this, I have to say, after having quite a lot of experience around the rest of the world. It's nice to do something on my home turf for once. I'm told there's actually a lounge as well that we can check out, so let's see what that is like before getting on board.
This older section of the first class lounge is actually Queen Victoria's royal waiting room from way back in the 1800s. In contrast, the modern section houses refreshments as well as showers to freshen up before your journey. With that, I make it boarding time. You can actually board just over an hour before departure, but given it's now 30 minutes before go time, I guess that's why the lounge was so empty. I'm in coach G this evening, so let's head on inside and go and explore this sleeper car. Fun fact, these carriages were actually totally refurbished back in 2017 and 18 and is now touted to be among Europe's best commercial sleeper service. Well, hello and welcome to my little sleeper room. Let's take a relax. I'm going to go and check out, I think in just a moment, the buffet car. Apparently there's some complimentary drinks and snacks. It's 11:30 at the moment, so the train will be going, if all goes to plan, in about 20 minutes time. Let's utilise the handy underbed storage then for my suitcase. I guess you could fit around 3 of these carry-ons here.
One thing I'm very happy about today is, unlike a lot of the Amtrak services I've been on where you can't lock your room, you actually get like a hotel style key card which is already set up, so it's not like the Caledonian Express where you need to register it with your room.
And just like that, we're off, bound for Penzance, Cornwall. You may be able to spy the new Elizabeth Line terminal through the gap, and yes, I did manage to ride this on my return to London. Right, we must now head over to the restaurant car, and fear not, a full room tour will happen after a nightcap of sorts. Whilst I walk over, here's the layout of G carriage. I'm in 21 and 22. All carriages are pretty much identical, with a mix of single and double interconnecting berths. Located between the sleepers and economy class, the restaurant car offers a multitude of seating options, from couple seating to solo, sofas, and of course 4-person booths. You can order at the bar, and the lady serving is really friendly. What doesn't look friendly though are those bar stools. Imagine those after a few pints. I've managed to snag a booth, as most have turned in for the night. So my poison of choice tonight, you ask? Well, a hot chocolate of course. There's something remarkably civilised sipping a hot chockey and gliding out of the capital en route to the seaside. I'm also given a ginger biscuit, or well, a cookie to my American friends. With the last few passengers filtering out of the restaurant car, I think it's my cue to turn in.
Well, there we go. Hot chocolate and snack over. I think it's time to go and head back to the cabin.
Alas, on my way, I'm distracted. We've arrived at our first stop, the ever-glamorous Reading. Whilst I daren't get out, at least I can hang out the window and pretend I'm a low-rent Francis bourgeois. Mind you, I really don't have a clue what class of train this is.
It's also pretty wet, so we get a bit nicer before we get to Cornwall in the morning.
I mean, it's fair to say, this is a lovely looking sleeper cabin. It may not be the double beds of the Caledonian, but it's significantly cheaper.
Well, welcome back to my room. I think it's now time to have a proper look around, and I can show you all the features and, of course, the most important thing, the bed.
My first concern here is how narrow the bed is. I guess we'll find out for sure in a second. There's a desk cum sink in the corner, which also features a rubbish bin. By your bed there's lighting controls and a power outlet, as well as the all-important AC controls. There's even a slimline wardrobe, which to be honest you'd struggle to put more than a jacket in. Interestingly, your water is stored here too. Bit odd, but we'll roll with it. And in case you wondered, this is what the room looks like when both bunks are deployed. And before we can try that bed out, test out the bathroom facilities and the beautiful morning views of Cornwall, it's time for a quick word from today's video sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace make it super easy for you to set up and host a website. And no, you don't have to know complicated coding. Squarespace really have this down, handling it all from your domain name through to the design, hosting, social media linking, and even your search engine optimization. The best bit is Squarespace offering you a free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Just head over to squarespace.com/TrekTrendy and use the coupon code TrekTrendy. Thanks again Squarespace for making this video possible.
Well, I'm not sure about you, but given that it's closing on 1:30 in the morning, I think it's time to get ready for bed. So, what does bed look like on this sleeper train? I mean, aside from me sitting on it, of course, I need to go and get changed. And as always, I bring my own pajamas. I am looking forward to going to Japan soon though, because I'm told that you do get pajamas on board. Anyway, at the risk of sounding like I've got a pajama obsession, which of course I do, let's see what I've got. As you've seen earlier, there's actually some storage space underneath the bed, which is very useful. And as a result of this, I will get out some trackies, and of course, a NASA t-shirt because, well, gotta be on brand.
There are 2 toilets in each carriage. Of course, this is no Orient Express ensuite bathroom.
Here we go. I mean, it's small, clean, it will do the job. Right, anyway, let's get changed into this.
Oh, you're wondering where the shower is? Short answer, there isn't one, but they provide them at the arrival station for sleeper passengers.
Now that's much more like it. Right, with that, let's head back over to my cabin and brush my teeth. Yes, because there might be a sink there, but I also have one in my room. As I alluded to, there is actually a sink just here. You may have thought it was a desk. I certainly did. Basically, let's get this detritus out of the way. Towel, some soap, and did I sleep well? I hope so. Let's see. Well, in true Trek Trendy fashion, there really is only one more thing left to do. Yeah, boot the Tims off.
And at the ungodly hour of 2 AM, finally let's settle in. First impressions of the bed are, well, splendid. The mattress is comparable to a proper hotel bed. Right, it's time for that beauty sleep. My word, I need it. Whilst I sleep, you may be wondering when Millie is back with me on the channel. Well, fear not. We've just taken the British Pullman, England's most luxurious train, so I'll be sharing with you this adventure in the next couple of weeks. You're not going to want to miss this one.
The next day.
Well, good morning. I suppose the first question is, how did I sleep? Well, I have to say, I slept well. The challenge is the bed is relatively narrow. Anyway, let's wake up and see what it's like outside. Right, well, breakfast is served. So as we roll into Truro, I think it is time to crack on with this breakfast. I'm most excited about this bacon roll.
If you know anything about the British, you'll know we're obsessed with a bacon roll in the morning. Just look at any Greggs at 8 AM.
Well,
As you can see, empty plate, that was actually very good. It's not going to win any crazy awards, but for a bacon roll on the train. As I watch the Cornish countryside roll past, I think it's time for a coffee. Oh, well, this is an orange juice. I'm pleasantly surprised to enjoy a freshly squeezed OJ as we continue deeper into Cornwall. And as for the coffee, let's say me pouring on the go leaves a lot to be desired. You can't knock that look of concentration though, eh? As we drift through Hayes South, I have a brainwave. Let's recreate the Orient Express coffee in bed through the Alps situation. This may be the poor man's version, but it's still a vibe. So with breakfast out of the way, I think it's time to get changed back into my normal clothes so that we can get out in Penzance. So let's get changed. Right, there's one more thing we need to have a look at, and that is the coach class of travel. Let's go see what it's like. So of course, for those on a tighter budget, there's a coach section located the other side of the restaurant car. FYI, coach passengers don't get priority seating here, but instead get access to the snack bar, with food to be eaten back at your seat. You'll see it's pretty much deserted, perhaps most got off at Truro. It's laid out in a 2-2 config, with a mix of quad tables and 2 abreast seating. I'd say this is comparable to premium eco on an airline. Given the pricing for the sleeper, I can't say I'd jump to spend the night here. This brings me nicely on to the costs. Let's break it down. Sleeper tickets can be bought on the GWR website. For coach, you'll need to pick up a single ticket for £45. However, the sleeper compartments, you'll need to book the minimum £74 ticket and add on the sleeper supplement of a further £70. Therefore, you'll be paying a total price of roughly £144 or $180. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I think that's a decent price, especially when compared to the Caledonian sleeper service to Scotland. Well, welcome back to my cabin. Not very long now until we get into Penzance. Really is a unique way, I think, of getting to Cornwall from London. And if you weren't filming like I, you could probably get your head down about midnight and wake up quite refreshed at 7. As we whirl past St Michael's Mount and we continue in parallel to the Cornish shoreline, I wanted to attempt to show you what the top bunk is like. Unfortunately, as I find out, when you have a single sleeper booking, they lock the ability to unfold the top bunk. For reference though, there is a fold-out ladder, which would make accessing the top bunk relatively straightforward. Sorry, no Trek Trendy top bunk hilarity for you today. Well, there we have it. Welcome to Penzance. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey over from London. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, but I'll catch you all again next week. Thanks once again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/TrekTrendy to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.